Okay, folks. Once again, it's DJ Marvelous, Hit the Deck Entertainment, HTD Media, live from the basement. And this young man actually understands what it means, what his place. He understands what his place is. He understands where he came from. He understands what this culture is all about. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage. I'd like to welcome to my platform. State your name, sir.
Dada!
The proprietor of the Sneaker Thrifts.
Sure.
Thank you for coming through, my brother.
My man.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Yeah, man. So, for the people that don't know you, man, what do you do?
Man, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a real entrepreneur, and I focus on real philanthropy a lot too. Not philanthropy, real philanthropy. So that's my thing. Just a little bit of everything is my thing.
Before we get into the actual business side of it, how many pair of sneakers do you own?
Now, I might be like right at 100 now. Like I start over kind of each time I had to start over with a store. I kind of started my collection over because I sold my collection to get started. So I don't need a whole lot of money to get started. So like, if none of the stores ever got broken into, I'd probably be into like 500-600 by now.
Okay.
And, yeah, people. It was a stigma like, oh man, people be wasting money on shoes. I'm like, man, shoes are an investment. People was laughing, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could say you could make that claim of anything. Like
right.
Basquiat sold a Basquiat painting sold for $100 or $150 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about whatever people will pay. That's the value of it. Whatever somebody will pay for it, that's the value of it.
Got a Basquiat crown on my arm, man.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? At what point did you realize there's a market? How did the light bulb come on for you from the business perspective?
Ninth grade. That's like 2003. It's way before buy sell trade stores.
These were storefronts, or these were like
it wasn't none. It wasn't it wasn't no buy sell trade stores back
then.
Tracking,
okay.
So you had your regular Foot Lockers and all that, but 2003 I was in Career Academy, and we had Career Day, and it was like you had to do a project. Basically like a mock-up business type thing. And I drew a shoe, and I was like, I wanted to work for Nike. I wanted to design shoes. So they actually had people come in and talk to us from the Art Institute of Arlington. They came down for Career Day. And she was like, well, I could tell you what to do. You get that patented. You go through all the steps of learning business and all that. And then if you come to us through the Art Institute of Washington, we can get you a job and beep into that Nike. So my first thing was, I want to work for Nike. Then as the 10th grade, everybody started like buying shoes from me like that I wear, or I started painting shoes. I had everybody wearing Mesquite shirts with the paint all over it. I started making those in school. They put me in the yearbook for that. And then it just kept progressing, man. Like I said, I was selling my shoes. Then I started buying 2 pairs of shoes. Then
selling them to people at the school?
At school.
Okay.
My
so
boys
you weren't venturing out to other...
Nah, I wasn't really we wasn't really selling them, like family, like the town, everybody knew me in the town anyways because of where we lived at. So I was just selling shoes around like that. And then I was doing this so I could get my shoes for free. So then I started buying 3 pairs of shoes, because if I could sell these 2 pair for a little bit more, I ain't got to pay for mine. And I just kept it going from there. And eventually I was like, yo, I want my own store, and I got to do it.
So, all right. So the process of going, so before the storefront, right? Because I know my son has a similar. Y'all the same generation, right? So did you just one day say, I'm gonna put these on? Did you start eBay first, or back in the day, or one of those others?
So me, Lamont, and Streets all started doing Nike Talk. Nike Talk was like they older than us.
What's that?
Nike Talk is a website to where, all right, so you remember back in the day you had city exclusive. So one shoe, the internet wasn't jumping like that, so a shoe might come out only in New York. So you had to have somebody that was in New York to get the shoe for you.
Yeah.
And so people started making circles like that, and then they made the platform called Nike Talk to where sneakerheads could help out other sneakerheads on different coasts.
Before you go there.
Yeah.
Was this... At this point, right, were there long lines at Foot Locker, middle of the night releases and all that stuff?
Yeah, so you
was all that stuff going on at the same time, or what?
I say the camp outs really usually used to only be for like them city exclusives that I'm talking about.
Okay, I got you. Gotcha.
Cause it when they start retro releasing,
Yeah.
like re-retroing, that's when it started. Cause somebody be nostalgic of something that came out when they was younger. So now they be like, yo, I'm gonna get there early because they told me that it's not that many pairs. Or they try to backdoor. Backdoor is when you pay a manager a few extra dollars to get them early or whatever. So if you didn't have them kind of connects, you wanted to be the first person at that gate because you knew that you would get a pair.
And they selling them for I guess at that time. Say maybe I'm getting the timeline all jacked up, but so I don't want to talk out of turn here, but so when they do that, right? When they had these re-releases of these retro sneakers, does the guy that's in the front of the line, is he getting it for retail price? Is he?
Yeah. So everybody that's in line, they getting it for the retail price.
Okay, so when did
they first dropped.
when did that dollar amount go from? When did this thing get viral? So where everybody started getting out of hand.
Okay,
and because I know you know all of this stuff.
Yeah. All right, so I say even it was the biggest joint that everybody always talk about is called the Pigeons. It's a SB. It's a skateboard. It looked like a dunk, whatever. Mm-hmm. That was in New York, and it went crazy. They had riots and everything. So it's like newspapers and everything for that.
Around about what time is it?
Man, I think that was like 06 maybe. I don't know. They're gonna kill me. Sneakerhead's gonna kill me.
Yeah,
I have to Google it. But
we'll cut it out if it ain't.
Yeah. So early 2000s.
Yeah.
All right. That went crazy. That's when Nike Talk really blew up. But when they said that they was gonna bring them foam posits back out, people went crazy in the city for foam posits. Those was Penny Hardaway and Tim Duncan shoes. So everybody went crazy over those, and then
I'm the most uncool interviewer.
Cool,
so I did not realize. Look, my people gonna kill me too because I didn't realize those are Penny Hardaway shoes.
Yeah, for foam posit. Foam posit ones are Penny Hardaway shoes because you got Foam Posit 1 and Foam Posit Pro. Foam Posit Pro got a check on the side of them.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This guy knows all this shit.
A little bit.
Anyway, my fault, man.
Nah,
so all right, so Nike.
It's like it's different. You got different timelines for different places. Like in Northern Virginia, DC area, they went crazy over the foam posits when they was about to come back out. New York was when the Pigeon Dunks came out. You got like P-Rod, he a skateboarder, so his shoes went crazy. Had another 11 Jordans, the Concords. Mm-hmm. Potomac Mills, they broke down doors for that.
I saw that on the news.
So now they can't sell retros no more. Like the dude who owned the mills, he don't want no retros in his malls. And they'll tell you that that's the deadliest shoe of all time because people was getting killed over the 11s. You know what I mean? It's that and the foam posit. People started going crazy about them joints.
So we really out of the timeline now,
right.
but what did you do to do that? You know, I mean, I don't picture you going and knocking nobody out for some shoes, man.
So all right,
because I know you were strategic,
yeah,
and I know you had a plan to get to it.
All right, so it might be all over the place, but I'm gonna go through the whole thing. All right, so when my mom started getting me shoes, her friend owned Athlete's Foot in Warrenton. It was a black lady that owned it. I forgot her name. Yeah. But with Athlete's Foot, you buy 5. You know you buy a shoe. Every time you go, they mark it down, and then the last one you're gonna get is gonna be free. Yeah. So we have a membership.
I can see where this is going.
And Fredericksburg. So I did it. Both of those. You know, we used to live across from Landmark Mall. Mm-hmm. So my uncle had a friend that worked at Foot Locker. My granddad was still in the city, out northwest, so we had some shoe stores up there, then by Iverson Mall. So I had somebody everywhere where I could get a shoe, no matter what. I don't care if it's my size or not. Mm-hmm. I'll figure the rest out later, you know what I mean? So wherever I had a friend at and I found out there was a shoe coming out, I made sure I had one at least. Like, I take care of you, you take care of me. And then I go talk to management, just going in and kicking in about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Show my face. And
we definitely related.
Yeah. So over time, them little people at them stores become the managers. Mm-hmm. They become the district managers and the general managers.
It's relationships, man. You here because this is a business platform. Yeah, man. Yeah. So
I'm always about a relationship. Like what they say, you treat the janitor like the CEO, and people remember you.
You damn right.
And not only did this help me in the sneaker industry, but it helped me in the music industry. It helped me in film industry, wherever. Like if I had a friend in some kind of industry, they're gonna remember me, and that's how I can put other people on. You know what I mean? I always get shown love just because people remember me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro, like only thing I had to do was make a call or make a post back then, and I was getting them. And then I made sure I got a job at one of the stores.
No, that'll help.
So
you had inside intel, man.
Yep.
So let me ask you this: so were you buying at that point, right? Were you buying sneakers to resell, or you buying sneakers just to have a new fly shit, or what?
Okay, so 9th grade, my mom, she from 7th grade up to 9th grade, she was getting me shoes. And then I was like, yo, I don't want my mom to spend money on me no more, even though, you know what I'm saying, we had SSI checks, whatever.
Hey. I understand.
I'm like, look, man, it's my mama. She can't be taking care of me like this. I started throwing parties, getting the money.
Right.
I don't care. As long as I had that from $115 to $140 to get my Jordans, she could have the rest of the money. I ain't had no bank account. I wish I would have had a bank account back then. But I was throwing parties, team parties. I was the only one doing it every weekend. So I made sure me and whoever I was dealing with at the time had a pair of shoes, or me, Mal, you know, my sister or whatever. My circle, we all had the shoes because I had the plugs.
Yeah.
I just kept, my mom started with the plug because her friend had the shoe store, you know. And you know, back in the early 90s, before all this, man, you had them, oh, I got it from New York.
Yeah,
Somebody come down and, you know, we had, you know what I'm saying, stuff that fell off the trucks or whatever.
What's the word that I heard Dapper Dan talking about this, right? And it's about scarcity. It's scarcity, and you create luxury brands by making sure it's scarce.
And that was somebody that I looked up to.
Yeah.
Because Uncle J-Rock, man, only thing I used to hear was, man, Dapper Dan. I'm like, man, who's Dapper Dan? When I got older, I started, like, researching him and what happened with him and how the businesses was mad that he was taking their stuff and making it look way better.
Yeah.
And he had them real guys in the streets backing him, so he went crazy. And that was my mentality. I took Dapper Dan's life and tried to emulate and do the same thing. I'm like, Dapper Dan did this with them. I could do this with these dudes. Yeah. So I started painting shirts. Back then, we was getting the fake Air Forces for $40, painting them joints up, and I sell a shirt.
So you did the painting, or you got somebody to do the painting? Okay.
I did it. You know, the little squeeze paints from Walmart for 99 cents, the puff paints. I did the Mesquite joints. Because everybody in our family could draw. So
see, this is the part of it I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And I just told my buddy before I came down here to talk to you. I called him on the phone, and I said, I got a young dude coming over here, man, and he's a sneakerhead, and he's a sneaker entrepreneur, and he's an artist. He's an art advocate. So he does art shows and art exhibits and so forth, and he's tight with a whole bunch of artists. We'll talk about it after this.
All right.
Because you need to meet these people.
Okay.
These are big boys in the game.
Gotcha.
Because it's the intersection of all of this is where we going next.
Okay.
All of this stuff coincides. This is all hip hop, man. You know, and I think it's all hip hop. It's all entrepreneurship, and it's all our culture.
Right.
So it's important that you link in with these cats. You know what I'm saying? They can help you. You can help them.
Right.
So
I'm with all that.
Yeah. So painting sneakers.
Okay. So I was painting the shoes, and I put a little package together. I go get the shoes, or you could provide your own, whatever. But I like to do it this way. I go get the shoes, get the shirt, paint the joint up. I have it for them the next day at school, $100. Shoes, shirt, you got an outfit, $100. You know what I mean? My boy Sherman.
Sound like a deal to me.
Yeah, my boy Sherman was the first one. I got to paint his and sell it. That was the first one that I sold it to. Me and my boy Darren, you know what I'm saying, one of the best rappers out there. We was doing it. We was putting the bandana on our boots and painting it and all that. But when I started doing those shoes and all that, I started really getting attention in school from the art teachers, the principals, whatever. And they know I was selling it in school. They was like, listen, we don't want to know about no money being exchanged, but you could do this because it's showing that it's going to what you want to do. You know what I mean? So one day, man, I know we was in the hallway, like 15 people had my stuff on. You know what I mean? And from then on, we carried that out, and people started wearing them at my parties and all that. And then my uncle, he actually made a clothing line from it. We, like I said, we first started painting. Then he started getting the cut and sew stuff made, you know.
Right.
And it took off from there. So I just had so many different bags.
This is still high school era.
It's still high school.
Yeah. And you never had a business class in high school?
So I was in Career Academy, which had us in ninth grade, only my first. It was either 9th or 10th, but it was only the first semester because I got kicked out. Everything smart. I I got kicked out of for being militant or whatever to them. Like, my mom always made me read books, and I watched the Discovery Channel and all that stuff. So if I feel like I know, you know what I'm saying, kids ain't supposed to like talk back. So I found out the smart way to do it. She wouldn't get mad if I got in trouble for being right.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, teacher pointing at you doing crazy. I said, please don't be degrading towards me. Or, you know, I might say something like that. And they like, yo, get out, bro. You making everybody else in here look at me the same way. So I got kicked out of Career Academy for being right. We made teachers quit and all that. But so after that, I was like, you know what? I don't need them. But to jump back in that part, I'm so glad that I had a black principal. You know what I mean? So we had four, you know, they had a principal for each grade, and then you had the school principal. So the school principal was black, and my grade principal was black. So they used to know I was right, like the way that they try to talk to us or whatever. And they be like, man, listen, we just going to call your mom, tell her come get you today. You come back tomorrow, whatever. Yeah. But I never really did nothing wrong, but they used to just kick me out of everything smart because I ain't really want to
Unfortunately, that culturally, there's too many instances of that where teachers, on one hand, I see, and not to get to race or culture or anything, but one thing I see is that teachers got a tough job because they got a bunch of wild ass kids.
Right. Now it's worse.
That are not listening. Right. On the other side, because of that, it's not your fault that the school is crazy and is wild, is over the top. They have to take a minute or two to kind of understand where is this kid, man? Where is his brain at, man? You know what I'm saying? Because if I get into it and understand why they're doing what they're doing, maybe I may be able to get something out of them.
I'm glad you just said that because by the time I got to 10th grade, they know my grades were still good. Yeah. And they're like, why is he not still in Career Academy with his friends and all that? So we'll sit down and talk, and we created the first student advisory council in Culpeper. So they put me on it. Me and I don't know, some people that just never talked during the
You mean a liaison between you guys and the teachers and the administration?
Yep. And the school. So the head of the school board, the superintendent, he'll come. The principals, one person from a boy and girl from each grade, and I don't know, it was like the newspaper or somebody like that. And because they was trying to enforce name tags, then they uniforms, stuff like that. But we was rebels. I was like, yo, we get name tags, we tie them on our shoe or something like that. Like, or they want us to have a tracker to walk through the hallway. What would happen if we get caught without it? Like, you know what I'm saying? I was ins and outs type person, and I always spoke up for everybody, and that kind of like had me in trouble a little bit sometimes. But all in all, I was always right. I ain't never did the wrong way.
This is the same story that good politicians. This is the same story that politicians have.
Right.
This is the same story that a lot of our leaders.
Yep, Huey, Fred Hampton, everybody. You learn how to do it the right way, and then it's crazy because if you do it the right way you want to do it, but make sure it's right, you make them more mad. Yeah. Because they be like, ooh, I can't. We can't kick him out. This guy knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Because it's like, yo, if you want to make us wear uniforms, y'all going to have to fund it. You can't just jump out of nowhere and say, I got uniform.
That's a fact.
But man, everything I got kicked out, I got into the Student Advisory Council. We was good from there. Then the lady from the school came back. From the Art Institute came back and had me come tour the school and all that, man. I got to go up there to Arlington. And
this was what time frame was this?
This is a year later. It's 10th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They got schools, not just athletic programs, basically recruiting.
Yeah, because they was like, you know, instead of going to a regular college, you come up here. Yeah. We guarantee you a job when you get out. Blah blah blah. But they don't tell you that it's $163,000 for 3 years straight.
I know.
Like, we got up. We spent so much. Like, we went up there. What is that? The Charles C. Smith building or something like that beside Pentagon City. Yeah. You had to stay there, but you have to have 3 more roommates, and you still got paid $900 a month. Yeah, and it was like, yo, bro,
that's a challenge, man.
We can't afford this. Like,
right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I was down about it, but then I was like, man, I'm just going to work it out my own way.
Good friend of mine, he went to Art Institute of Washington, and he told me that the curriculum was fine, mostly. He said, but it's a lot of other stuff that they got you doing. Because all they're trying to do is keep that accreditation. So they got them doing stuff that ain't really got nothing to do with art.
with nothing, yeah.
or fashion,
right.
or whatever whatever discipline that you had.
And that's what I was doing both. I was doing art and fashion, and because I also wanted to do voiceovers for cartoons. You know what I mean? But
yeah. But see, nowadays it's 2021.
Yeah.
You don't need.
I got Instagram. I can do it myself.
Yeah, you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
But at the time, but for real, man, the blessing is that you, through all the trials and tribulations, and I see a recurring theme with a lot of guys that come in here and talk to me, man. All of the things that you've encountered, even though they may have seemed like they were negatives, they all made you who you are.
No, that's a fact, and that's like people will ask me like, if you could change anything, what would you change? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing, because if I go back to change one thing, it's a snowball effect. I ain't gonna be who I am.
Yeah.
Like they asked me like, if you could bring your pops back, would you? I'd be like, nah. Like that made me strong. I got to see how strong my mom was to make me respect her more. Yeah. And that instilled me what I need to do.
See, I believe you when you say this, because when I had, I have a lot of regrets in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And I have this recurring conversation on Facebook at least once a year, and I say, look, man, some of you YOLO people who just want to do crazy shit as much as you can and often as you can. Nah, I don't want to relive some of that stuff.
Yeah, nah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah. But these hard lessons are good for you, man.
Yeah.
Because they shape you into a man.
Right. That's a fact. And I think one of the quotes that people say is you learn from your own mistakes or whatever, but not me. Like I learn from others' mistakes, so I don't got to do that.
See,
shit.
You the guy that's sitting back watching all this mayhem going on around. Yeah.
Literally every one of my friends smoked and drank and was deep in the streets. Yeah. My grandfather always told me, if you can't make this much money that you see now, don't ever touch it. Like I said, we the last generation of people that was in the streets that was seeing real money and got to, play with it a little bit before they went away for a long time. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, like, listen, if you're making $100,000, right, but you get 10 years, you only made $10,000 a year, you can make that at McDonald's, so it's not worth it.
I told my son, I said, son, and he remembered this too. Mm-hmm. He was a little boy when I told him this. I said, son, the coolest thing you can do is be yourself, man.
That's a fact. And it took me a while to do that. Yeah. Because of seeing everybody around me with so much money. Like, literally every last one of my uncles went to jail. My brother went to jail. Like, I ain't have no more male figures that was positive and outside people looking in standards positive. Yeah. Because I still took a lot of positives from all of them. Like,
that's real.
It was just tough. And I'm like, they could look at me like a square all I want, but they don't know. Unless they my good men that been in my house, they don't know those stories of the family.
I don't listen to that. You already know my story, man. I'm the square.
Right.
But it's
big
all right,
square.
Though. It's all right. Yeah. And you know what? My friends that are not as square, they still respect me.
Right.
Man. So that shit don't mean
Yeah, because when I got older and somebody might spark up a blunt or something, they be like, yo, listen, we know he don't smoke. Y'all got to take this over there or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I'm not judging anybody that does, but it's just not for me, man.
Nah.
You know,
it was a waste of money. Like, I ain't gonna say it was a waste. I don't care.
Well, it's a waste of money for you.
Yeah. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
I be telling them, I put it like this. I'm like, listen, you roll 10 blunts or whatever, you high, you wake up the next morning, that money gone, it's over with. I took that money, I bought some shoes, I can wear this all week, then I can sell this and get that money back.
Hey, man, if they want to do otherwise, more power to them. Knock yourself out. The hell with that.
But I loved, later on, I loved being the square in my circle. Like, at first, I felt kind of out of place because coming down from the city, I ain't had no friends. Like, we had family members, and mama and all them was not having it. You cannot go to school and orange with your cousins because y'all getting in trouble. So what you gonna do? Go to Culpeper and
get more trouble.
Yeah, I was in.
So you doing the parties, man. What was the next transition? Did you go to college, or y'all just hang around in college?
Nah, man, I went to college. So I got in trouble my 11th going to the 12th grade year by looking out for other people. You know what I'm saying? I got they said they have enough evidence to find me guilty, whatever. But it was an accessory after the fact. Yeah. I gave somebody, a good friend, and my cousin some clothes, and niggas robbed the store, whatever. Yeah. So I got put on probation, and I couldn't travel to no schools for visits for track. and me and my track squad was raw. We was all state.
Oh, you mean you can even go inside
I couldn't.
any other else? You can leave the county or something?
I couldn't leave that district, so I could only go from Culpeper to Charlottesville. I couldn't
go.
Understand. And then Culpeper to Charlottesville, then Culpeper to Fredericksburg. Couldn't go no further.
Damn.
Couldn't go to the city, visit family. Couldn't go nowhere. So I missed all my scholarships. Mm-hmm. I only got to visit one school, and that was Liberty. Right. And at that time, tattoos wasn't really a big thing. So they like, look, y'all have to be in uniform, and you got too many tattoos. You know, Christian school.
You had a bunch of tattoos back then?
Man, I had tattoos my 15th birthday. Mama told me to get one. I got 3.
Right.
And yeah, it was a big Christian school, so I turned it down. I ain't go nowhere, so I had to sit out until the following year. Mm-hmm. And then I went to Virginia Western. I played basketball down there for a little bit. And I was going to Tech. I was on a transfer program for Virginia Tech. Yeah. Then the Virginia Tech shooting. Like, I was out there, but the Virginia Tech shooting happened. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So I was done. I just worked. And, you know what I'm saying? Then we picked another thing to do. You know, I moved some cousins down there with me. And me and them and my friends in the industry, we took off and did other things. You know what I'm saying?